Hi everyone, I'm Janelle with Toons Unlimited, and for this topic today, I wanted to kind of discuss how serious are you about creating your own custom content for Crazy Talk Animator. So stay tuned and we're going to discuss some of the pros and cons that comes along with this application. ToonsUnlimited.com. So how serious are you about creating custom characters for Crazy Talk Animator? There are three flavors of characters. There are the G1s, which is like this guy here, who's a single angle character. There are the G2s, which is what I primarily specialize in. I create standard G2 characters, like a few of them that I have out on the stage right now, and then I create the buddy style G2 characters that you see below. And then there's the G3 characters, and the G3 characters can be anything from a human character, object, animal, whatever you want to animate. Basically G3 is your thing. Now I have a lot of people who reach out to me, and some want to know why I don't produce G3 characters, and I can give you my opinion about G3 characters. And again, I've kind of stated this over and over in the forum, but I will say it in this video. I do not particularly care for G3 human characters for this application, and it's for a few reasons. One, I want to be able to change the colors of my character to whatever I want. I love that, being able to be unified. And if I want this person to have a red shirt on or a blue shirt, I can click a button and I can make that modification. I cannot get that with a G3 character. That's fine if I am doing an animal, like for example, my octopus. This is a G3 character that I have not put in the marketplace yet, but this G3 character, it's a nice character. I do have some of his expressions rigged up that he can make faces and stuff like that, but I don't like that. If I wanted him to be a purple octopus or a pink octopus, I would kind of have to go back to the original application that I have created them in and change those colors and then bring them back into this application. So from that aspect, that's one of the reasons why I don't gravitate towards G3 human characters. Another reason why I don't do it is because it's not vector based. I like close-ups. I like clarity. PNG and JPEG files can do some beautiful things. You can create some wonderful shadings and cool effects to it. But at the end of the day, it's a rastered image. And for animation, for what I like to do, if I'm doing something that's for just me, it's one thing. But I create my content for the marketplace. I create my content for basically viewers like you. And because I do that, I want to make my content as universal as possible. And that's what G2s are. G2s are 10 angles. You can change the colors. You can pose the hell out these characters. You can export them for games, presentations, static images, promos for your products. Whatever you can think of creative to do it, you can do it with G2. You can do some of these things with a G3 character, but at the end of the day, if you're not flipping the character from the left side or right side, you're limited. Your options go down, and I don't want for my content options to go down. So therefore, I stick to G2 characters. I have done some G1s in the past, but primarily if you see something coming from Toons Unlimited and it's not an animal or it's not a particular object that I'm trying to animate, it's going to be a G2 character. So I have people hit me up because a lot of my tutorials I talk about, whether it's how to animate a hug and stuff like that, I'm using G2 characters, and what they find out is that they can't do the same thing with G3. They mistake G3 for Crazy Talk Animator 3. That's not the case. G3 is the new generation of characters that have the elastic features with them. So this guy is your G3 characters, and I take nothing away from these characters. They are great for the angle that they are in, but I can't make his legs turn to the front. You know, if I click on the shoes, this is my option. This is my only option, and this is the only thing I can do at this angle. So I don't like that. It's no other way to say it. I like to have more options. If I wanted his feet to face the front, if I wanted him to walk like he was walking forward in a more natural appearance, I don't have that ability, and it's nothing against this character. The character's well drawn. He can be animated nicely. I just don't have the ability to move him the way I want him to move. And that's what some people are going to find out with the application. It's nothing related to G3, period. When you're creating custom characters, you can create this character to be and behave the way you want, whether you're selling it in the marketplace, whether you're doing your own skit for a short series, cartoon series, whatever you're thinking about doing, you can create exactly what and how your character behaves by doing custom content. So I like knowing that I can go into this 3D motion editor and I can start to rotate his body and his legs the way I want to. I can get the most out of my animation by having as many options as I can possibly have. That's what the G2 does for me. That's why I will stick with it. As long as I can make a G2 character, I'm probably going to make it every single time. So for individuals who have reached out to me, and I mean I get emails or messages every single day regarding this application. And let me stress this, I do not work for Volusion. I am not affiliated with Volusion in any form or fashion. I am just like you all, an individual who grabbed a microphone and some screen recording software, and I am sharing my experiences that I have with this application, with this flow process to all of you, so that you can have that same experience as well. So I do this from the kindness of my heart. I do this to bring more insight to this application because I do think it's a good software, and I promote my characters and I sell my characters as well on my website and at the marketplace. So from that perspective, I have some type of investment with Volusion, but I am not affiliated with them at all. So when people see that I do these tutorials, a lot of people think that I either work for them or that there is some type of unique incentive for me, and it's not. I'm doing it because I was in your exact same shoes. I had your exact same frustrations, and there were people out there that I reached out to and they helped me along the way, and I'm basically paying it forward. I'm doing the exact same thing, but probably on a bigger scale because I do videos all the time. I will take on your projects. A lot of times people will hit me up and ask me, hey, here's my file, something's going on crazy with it. Can you point me in the right direction? And a lot of times I will take your file and either show you what you need to do to correct it, or kind of correct it while I'm doing the video, so that you know how to do your future characters the correct way. But here we are. So this is all of my, well, this is not all of my characters. This is a handful of characters that I have created along the way. And if you're serious about creating custom G2 characters for this application, I'm going to be flat out honest with you and tell you the exact tools you need and why. You are going to need the Crazy Talk Animator 3 pipeline. There's no other way to say it. For those of you who own the Pro version, you can get your content in. You may be okay with manually bringing them in one by one. Good luck to you on that. I am not going to do that. I am not going to bring in every image of my content to this application. And here's why. Let me just, this is my latest character that I have completed and is about to go out into the marketplace. This is Mr. Donald Trump. Donald Trump has, what, 30 mouth expressions. That's this one angle. He has mouth expressions for the 315, for the side angles, and when you flip them, you know, they're there. I'm not going to take time out to import individually and export individually over 120 mouth expressions, and then carefully one by one line them up or resize them or tweak it when this application doesn't import it the correct way that I want. Not to mention, let's just say I skipped and went out of order, so now my side angle mouth expressions don't sync up the way my front angle mouth expressions look. It's nerve-wracking. It's frustrating. And if I had to do it every day, I would stop doing characters for this application because it's just that challenging. You will hear people say over and over again, G2 characters are challenging, it's hard, and it can be. It can be. The learning curve can be a challenge. I'm here to tell you I can help you through it, and I can show you how to do it so that it becomes easier and easier. But a lot of times what I find out is that people are, they want to make custom characters, but they're not willing to buy what they need to make custom characters. And so they build up this frustration. You see it in the forum. And I hate to see people frustrated because it's a good application. It's a learning curve. It's doable. But when you don't have the right equipment to do what you need, you're not going to get the best results. You're not going to sit there and look at my finished product and say, I want that, but you're not willing to do what I'm doing to get that. So this is not a rant. This is to give you the best advice possible for yielding similar or better results that I do. And that's, you have to have Adobe Animate. You have to have it. Whatever version of Flash you own or can get your hands on, you have to have it. The templates and stuff work for this application. You have to have the Crazy Talk Animator pipeline version. It's no other questions to it. You know, if you don't have the pipeline version, whether you're doing CTA 2 or CTA 3, those two applications will allow you to produce G2 characters. You are selling yourself short. You are setting yourself up for a long line of frustration with this application. And the last part, this is optional, but I would tell you it's not an option for me. You have to have this guy, the puppet producer. Ibis Fernandez has done a beautiful job with creating this app, and this is what you need. I mean, the time that you save with using this Puppet Producer, it's money well spent. If you have Adobe Animate, Crazy Talk Animator 3, and Puppet Producer, I can work with you. I can get you where you want to be with your custom work. Of course, I can't help you with your skill set as far as drawing, but I can give you the standard shapes and the fundamentals that you can over time improve your artwork and get the results that you want. But if you come to me and say, hey, I only have this version, but can you help me? I can help you. But ultimately, if you want to be right alongside with what I'm doing and saying, hey, I have these same features and this is what I'm trying to produce, that's what's going to get you where you need faster. This is what's going to be able to help me help you the most. So again, now I will do G3 characters, and I have done G3 characters. Like, this is my bird that I've created, and he will be a G3 character, but as you can see, he's not a human character. And the reason why is because I'm okay with me drawing a bird in different angles for G3. I can't really do them for G2, only because a G2 template is only designed for a human body structure. So you can nail it with some of the animals that share a similar body structure of a human, but it's not going to be the same. Those pre-motions that come with all of these G2 characters that really makes animation easy, which is the main reason why people buy the software, is because I can be a beginner and kind of create great animation, and over time create excellent animation the more I learn the application. You're not going to get that with animals in G2. So therefore, an animal for G3, I'm all on it. And this is one of them. I only have a handful of mouth expressions for him and eye expressions for him. But even with these expressions, you can get a good animation for this bird. And the key thing for him is the wing animation. I did take time out to create this bird's wings moving, and when you go fast enough, you can see that that is the frame by frame animation that you would need to have the bird flap his wings and fly. So those are the things that I do not mind creating a G3 character for. The same thing is here. I have two versions of this dinosaur that people have seen. This dinosaur will be a G3 character. I might have multiple angles, but each one will serve as its own unique character, because the body structure for this this dinosaur is not like a human. I'm not going to get a nice walk cycle if I do a G2 with this kind of type of animal build. So when I release him out for a G3 character, you won't be able to change the colors or anything like that, but you will have a nice looking dinosaur that can be used for great animation. You know, you can put some type of person behind them or object. You could even have that bird mounted somewhere on his head and make some really good animation from it. And you know, here's another one with the fish. I don't think I've created any true animation with him with his fins, but what I will say is I don't mind creating G3, and you will see G3 characters come from me. It just won't be human characters. I seriously doubt that I will create any real G3 human characters, and if I do, it's definitely only going to be onesie twosies. I will stick to my new version of buddy characters with all the angles, and that's my comfort zone. This is what I like to do, And this is what I can help people out if they're trying to produce similar work like this. If you're really serious about creating characters for this application for whatever use you may do, if you are asking from assistance from me, from Toons Unlimited, this is my recommendation. This is what I'm going to recommend that you do every time. Get the pipeline version, get Adobe Animate, get Puppet Producer. I will provide all the links to I'll provide the link to Puppet Producer in this video description. And I think IBIS deserves every bit of profit for making that plugin, because I would have stopped making characters if I couldn't use that plugin. The template that Relusion provides, people have asked me over and over again, well, I've seen you use the template, so why don't you use the template for all your characters? Let me explain to you when I use the dummy template that comes with Relusion. Okay, so here's the dummy template. Here's what I like to use the dummy template for, because a lot of times my character is not going to be the same height. It's not going to be the same dimensions. So when you're swapping stuff in and out, and they got their green joint type markers for you to indicate where your joints and stuff is going to be at, it's a little too much. What I like to use the template for is when I am trying to do, just like, say for example, an eye set. I've created my own unique eye sets, and I want to hurry up and get them in the application. Well, the application will not accept just the eyes. If you try to import the eyes, it does some crazy stuff. It's not in the general position where the eye was supposed to be at, and that's because it doesn't have all the other pieces marked to know exactly where your eyes should be located. All it knows is that you just created, you know, this joint and this pivot for an eye, but it doesn't have the rest of the body structure. So what I will do instead, I will go in here and I will replace this guy's eyes with my eyes. So now when I import them in, I can easily have my eyes in the application. I can apply my render style to my eyes and save them if I want to sell the eyes by itself, or if I want to add those eyes to a new character that I'm creating. So when it's like single items, like for example, I also did the same thing when I created a custom shirt for Emma. I imported the shirt for Emma into the dummy template, just so that I can quickly import them all in at once, and I know that it's lined up the correct way that I want, and it's looking the way I want it to look. I would not do a whole character where I swap it out using this. You can do it, and a lot of people have done it, but unless it's about the same height, it's hard. It's hard to kind of match it up. You're going to be making so many adjustments with these pivots that you might as well have just used your own structure and use the Puppet Producer and just put things exactly where you wanted it at. So that's when I use this template. Now, I will say I use the Buddy template a lot more, because all of my characters that I do for Buddy template have the same body structure. I do have to add additional layers because Relusion's Buddy template does not have the sprites for nose, ears. It doesn't have as much detail like the movable arms and stuff like I have in my new characters. So therefore I have to create additional layers to make it work. But as far as the overall body structures, I'm still staying within those means. So I use the Buddy template more for that reason. Other than that, I'm using all of my stuff from scratch. Like for example, so just like I have this character that I'm making right now, which is Dexter. Dexter will be a G2 character that I have not completed. But as you can see, I'm working in my own template. I'm not using Volusion's template, and when I import them in, I won't use Volusion's template. I will have all of my pivots created. Right now they're not in place, but as you can see, I've already showed indicators where I will place my pivots, and that's what's going to make it easier for me to create this character. You can see it's all in place. So this is how I do my characters. This is why I do my characters, and this is why I use the tools that I use. It's best practices if you want a long-term commitment to creating custom characters. So I hope this helps people get a better understanding of, number one, my role with Volusion and why I do things the way I do it. And again, for those people who create G3 characters, they look great. I like them. I appreciate them. It's just not my niche. It's not what I will be doing. And for people who follow me and would like to create characters the way I create my characters, then this channel is probably a good solution for you. But if you're looking to create more of G3 characters, I would say to tune into Volusion's channel, or perhaps people who specialize in G3 characters will start to bring and pop in more tutorials that explains their flow process and how they create it. So hope this helps, and take care. Thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe to my channel for new content every week. If you would like to purchase my product, head over to my store for characters, props, and scenes. If you enjoyed this video, here is a link to another video you might like from this channel. Thanks for joining, and take care.